Hello, welcome. Right now we only have one participant on, so I'm just curious. Vanessa, are you there? So just out of curiosity, or actually just to inform you, I know we have one participant currently on, and in case you want to know how to call in, just go to the event info tab on the top left, and you'll see the call-in information to be able to converse. So please feel free to do that, and I'll wait to hear you check in. Okay, great.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Vanessa.
Okay. Hi.
Well, this might be a private webinar, but and that'll be fine. What's that?
Let me just shut the. There we go. Now we don't have the echo.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, welcome, Vanessa. Vanessa, now remind me, what agency are you with?
I'm with Catholic Charities, and we're the ones that we had it all set to go at the school over the summer, and they decided they were doing asbestos abatement, and we had nowhere to be.
Thank you. Yes. Okay. And I do recall that, and that we were all keeping our fingers crossed that you'd be able to start now in the new year.
Yep.
So,
we actually, what we decided to do, I'll just tell you quick, is because we have a bunch of programs internally, we have a runaway and homeless youth program, and we asked the program coordinator if we could basically take those kids and pilot the KEY group. So that's what we've been doing.
And this is at a school-based in the school-based program?
Well, we're not back in the school yet, so we're still in at our other site. Okay,
got it. So the program for runaway and homeless youth is a separate program, but you're going to go ahead and use KEY with them.
Yep, we decided that was a perfect group to do it with, and we would try it until we could actually get into the school and use it there.
Well, great. So let me get some details on that. How many kids are you looking for in that group?
Or, well, we're on week 3. This is week 3, so we already had 2.
Congratulations! Yay!
Thank you.
Okay. So so that's one group.
Right.
And how many?
9 participants.
How's it going?
Well, good. I mean, for 2 weeks, they all came back week 2, so that's always a good sign. And these are kids
now,
that
Vanessa,
are.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. No, you please.
These are kids that, although you could consider them to be mandated to attend, it's a voluntary program. They can choose whether or not they come. So the fact that they all came back was pretty significant to us.
That is great. And I'm curious, Vanessa, did you have a chance to, I know in July when we had the mid-project webinar, we had some of the sites present, and they gave so much really good information about things that you could do to really, spice up the curriculum and get things going. Yep. Were you on that call, on that webinar?
No, but I listened to them afterward. I listened to the July one after, yes.
Was that helpful?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, great, great. Yeah, because I know they again, the sites that presented were just gave some phenomenal suggestions and ideas about things that they did that really helped to maximize the experience for the young people.
Yep.
Great. So and I agree. I mean, after 2 weeks for them to be coming back to what is a voluntary program is great. Now and then wait. So just to clarify though, is the program residential?
Yeah, they have housing. Is that what you mean? Yes, they're residential.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
yep,
so and it's provided
there.
at the housing?
It's actually next door. Our building is next door to their house.
Okay. Now, remind me again, Vanessa, is your role sort of clinician, therapist, group facilitator?
Yes, I run the counseling programs. We have 6 of them here in our agency. So primarily I do the clinical piece, but I'm not running the group. One of our facilitators, Lori, is.
Okay.
And Lori is, she's an what is she, an MHC.
Okay. And so, I mean, how did the recruitment go? I'm just curious. I mean, in terms of your experience with recruiting.
Well, we had, like I said, there's many programs in our building, so we actually have access to the coordinator, and so we worked with the coordinator to try and fit it into their independent living skills group. So we basically just took 10 weeks of their independent living skills group, and that's when we're running it.
Okay.
So the recruitment was easy in that way, much easier than trying to get them from the school.
Right. Okay. I got to tell you, Vanessa, I'm so excited to hear about it, but also to hear how it progresses and how it goes. And I mean, again, that would be a perfect. Oh, and then one other detail though. Remind me, like, more or less, what's the ages of the young people?
They're 16 to 21, so most of them are between 16 and 18. I think we have one 19-year-old, and the rest are under.
Great. All right. And as I said, I know somebody else is running the group, but any stories, narratives, anything that you could share about how the groups are going, aside from the fact that that's great attendance?
Right. I mean, I think, just from talking with her about just the 2 weeks, I think that one of the challenges is that they all know each other already, and I know that listening to some of the other people talk about it, there's different sites where they already know each other and where they don't, but we really thought that might be a challenge, and it seems to really have opened up the discussion a lot quicker than it would if they didn't know each other. So in that way, we're excited because they're already talking about a lot of the tough topics with each other anyway, so it's easy to bring them up in group.
Absolutely.
And I know there's one boy that's not in the Runaway and Homeless program. He's in our MICA program, so he's sort of the odd man out, and we were worried about that also, that he might not feel included. But he came back week 2, and he's talking too, and so we're excited that he even came back. When everybody knows each other and one kid doesn't, that can throw it off. But it seems to be fine.
Right. Well, and it will be interesting to see moving forward how he blends, but also as you move forward. I mean, again, he may be the only one in the MICA program, but my guess is, given the population and given the group of kids that you have, there are going to be other kids who have mental health issues.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that'll become particularly critical in those sections where we do cover health and mental health. And,
yes.
So that's great. Anything else that you can tell me about how the groups are going? And
let me think.
No worries.
Well, we decided we usually do snack anyway for any groups that we offer, but we decided we were going to go with healthy snack this time because obviously healthy choices. We want to go with healthy snacks, and we were worried about that also, but that went over really big. We even had a kid offer to make an apple strudel for an upcoming session. So, just I think
that's great.
More than anything, we were excited that these kids are showing up and acting like they want to be part of it. And Lori is great, the woman that's facilitating it. Most of the time, teens connect with her anyway, so I wasn't concerned about that. But it can definitely be a challenge, and so far so good. So that's why I said to Lori, I'm going to sit in on one of these and at least get to, let people know that we at least got it started, and you know, if we can pick up any tips, great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, and remember, one of the things that we talked about in the training, too, is that, we try to make the model somewhat flexible enough, or at least as a suggestion, and of course it could be kept as a closed group and just the facilitators, but we do often encourage folks to think about, guest speakers and having people come in and do other parts of it as they go along. So I don't know if you have a particular expertise or a particular lesson in there that you might want to try to facilitate, but that
sure. We actually talked about that. We have, 4 other staff also that have all different kinds of experience and expertise in different areas. So we wanted to do like a yoga session somewhere. We have a lady that does yoga, one that does Zumba. We were thinking about trying to incorporate some more exercise type activities too.
That's great. Yeah, and as I said, those are great. And as you do those in terms of integrating that with the curriculum and where you use it, again, the presentations that were done were really good in terms of identifying those places where they kind of did some integration of other elements of their program and brought people in. So please share those with us, because the more ideas that we can integrate in there in the next version of the work will be great.
Yeah, definitely.
So, that's great news. So, again, and I'm just checking to see if anybody else has joined. So we can kind of go through this quickly. I always sort of do the updates and get some information on how things are going. Thank you for sharing that. But actually, now, what I think we'll do, Vanessa, is try to stay in touch. I mean, for me, the data, the project will be formally, sort of ending in December. But I know in addition to yourself, there's other sites that are going to be starting later, and I know there's going to be groups that are going to be going on after our end date, simply because, again, like you, they started late or whatever other kind of things got in the way. So I will definitely want to stay in contact with you. And for that, I think these performance indicators, again, if you can work with Lori to try to get those or keep up to date on those, that'd be great. So, and actually, even with that, coming up at the end of October, so I'm giving all the sites a little heads up that whatever you have up until that point in October would be great if you could send to us. So in terms of attendance tracking, and the discontinuation forms, if you have any kids dropping out. So all of these that you can send me up till that point would be great, and then we can go back and collect more later as you move along. But the attendance forms, the discontinuation forms, the helpfulness scale, and the personal progress checklist.
Right.
And as you remember, as we talked about it, sort of no pressure, not huge pressure, but if you do, and again, a lot of sites were really helpful. Even just the attendance and the discontinuation data has been helpful in terms of giving us a picture of how much the kids are coming and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Couple of other things, and I don't know if you were on in the August call, I mentioned a couple of other things that we're going to try to collect, that we just decided to try to collect. And that was also, we've made these additions. They're not major, but we've made these additions because, again, there's increasing interest in taking this sort of to the next step. And but I think what we decided was we wanted to try to get a little more data. So again, if you could put this on Lori's and keep it on your agenda towards the end of the project, we're going to be asking for a short scale that we found on future orientation. It's a simple outcome measure that we hope to be giving all of the kids, as many as we can get from the young people at the end of the program. So it'll be a post only. I apologize because I didn't load it onto here, but it's on our website, and if you want, I can send you via email. It's about, this is terrible, I should know, it's about 12 items, and it's just questions about their future. Do they think they're going to have, a better future than their parents?
I've seen that one.
Do they think
okay.
Yeah. So it's not it's not terribly long, and it won't take a lot of time for the young people to do. I'll send you a copy of it. Again, it's post only, so you and Lori won't have to worry about that until you get closer to the end of the project of the groups. But it's something that we wanted to try to get, and something that we hope will be an area that would impact young people in this program. And then so in addition to that, now this one's a little bit tougher, so we're going to be seeing if sites can help us out with this. But the other thought, we spoke with a researcher who does a lot of evaluation research, and one of the things that he said to ask if we could try to get is basically a snapshot of the workbooks, the workbook reviews. Now, I say that because I want to take a step back. I know in the training, in many cases, we really reinforced the idea that what we wanted to do was leave it up to young people themselves as to how much they used the workbook and how much they engaged with the materials and how many of the activities they completed. And, we went as far as saying that we didn't want sites to sort of put a lot of pressure on them. But with that said, what we thought would be an interesting thing to look at is how much the young people are actually completing of the workbook. So the idea right now, and this would not be all sites, it's mostly sites that can do it, that have been collecting the workbooks also, and that feel that they can do it, is we're going to set up time to come out to some of the sites and just take a snapshot of their workbooks. And that's not a literal snapshot, just we'll come out, we'll look at the workbooks, and we're going to have a little protocol set up to just see what they completed, what they sort of focused on as they did the workbooks, if anything, just to get a sense of that, what if anything. So again, I say that to you to put it on your radar and to see if it's something that you think, and obviously it would entail collecting the workbooks, not permanently, because I know we promised to let the kids keep the workbooks, but trying to arrange, coordinate a date where you might collect the workbooks just for a week or even in between the groups, and then we could come out and do a quick review of the workbooks and see what they've done.
Okay, that sounds good.
You think that's doable?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, one of the things that you could discuss with Lori too, because the other thing is this is going to be dependent. I mean, again, site we didn't set standards for collecting the workbooks, so obviously that's going to be contingent on whether kids have kept them, have held on to them, and I think some sites were saying even that they were going to collect the workbooks and keep them in between the groups because they just knew kids were going to, misplace them or lose them or whatever. So I know for some sites that's kind of something that gets built in that might make this easier. But at other sites, they've kind of let the kids keep them themselves. So, but if you can discuss that with Lori and find out, what kind of, procedures she set in place for her group for
keeping. Said about half. She just came in, so she just said about half and half. Of the kids keep half, and half of them leave them here. I think it's probably the kids who, are afraid they would lose it, leave their workbooks each week.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and the thing is, Lori, and welcome, Lori. I hear it's going great.
Yeah,
or well.
It's fun. Yeah, we're
good. Good. And again, I encourage you to, if you haven't already, I know Vanessa said that she listened to the mid-project webinar, and also on the KEY website, there's the mid-project webinar, and then also the slides from the presentations that have, a few nice additional activities that people have done sprinkled throughout the workbook to enhance and kind of motivate kids and kind of fun activities that they've added.
Oh, perfect.
So if you want to take a look at that on the KEY website, you can. Really good ideas, and from what people said, things that kids really responded to.
Perfect. Definitely.
Great. So, Lori, do you think that would be doable as we approach, as you know? And again, I know you're early on, but as you get on with the workbook, you think it'll be doable to collect them at some point and just arrange a time for me to come out there and look at them and see what they did?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, great. Great. So let's stay in contact about that, and I'm going to just keep you you on my list for sites that are open to doing it. And again, it's going to be dependent on, you know, whether sites feel that they can do it. So if you can just keep that in mind as you go along, and then we'll arrange a time later on.
Okay. Yeah.
Great.
That's good. Yeah.
Awesome.
Definitely.
So, and again, so this piece though, Lori and Vanessa, so by October 30th, I know you're early on, but again, whatever attendance data you have by October would be useful. Whatever, if you have, you know, kids who've dropped out, the discontinuation forms on, you know, sort of explanations for why they might have dropped out. And if the young people have been completing the helpfulness scales and that personal progress worksheet, that would be great as well. Okay, so, you know, but mainly if you could focus on just the attendance data and discontinuation data by the end of October and let us know how well you're doing in that area, that would be great.
Can do it. Yeah.
In the short run. Okay. And just a couple of other things. So in October, those are the dates for our October calls. We moved the Monday October call to Tuesday because of Columbus Day. I think we should have done it this year for Rosh Hashanah, although actually we couldn't do that either because Rosh Hashanah is 2 days. So that's the schedule for the October calls and the November calls. And then in December, we're going to have a project wrap-up. And Lori, as I said to Vanessa, even though the project's going to be wrapping up overall at that time, I very much want to stay in contact with you too and just get feedback and check in on you on how things are going after December.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. We're up for it.
Great. And so that's all I have for today. This might be a short call, but is there anything that you all need that we can help you with? Any information, resources?
Well, actually,
questions?
I was going to ask about, it sounds like you have out there already for activities to keep them engaged. I'm finding that the hands-on and the interaction is more of a learning tool for these kids than...
Yeah. And like I said, I really encourage you. I don't have it obviously right now in front of me, but if you go to the KEY website, do you want me to send you the link or do you have it for the KEY website?
I have the link. Yeah.
Okay, so if you go to the KEY website and you scroll down, and I think they're tabbed or identified for the July webinar. There's the recordings of the webinars we did, but also the slides. I think we uploaded the slides that the sites who presented that day sent us, and so those are going to be marked Pedersen-Craig. The folks from Pedersen-Craig presented that day, and in their slides they have a couple of examples of activities that they did, and Kids Oneida. So if you look for those slide decks from Pedersen-Craig and Kids Oneida, they have some examples of additional exercises that they did on there.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean literally, like they described the activity and, you know, when they used it and you know, the details on how they did it.
Perfect.
Okay, great. Anything else?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, stay in contact with me if you do. If there's anything else I can send you, give you, or any questions you have, you have my email. And I guess that's it.
Okay, great.
All right. Thank you so much, and I'm so glad you have it up and going. We'll talk again next month. All right.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Yeah, since we were the only one.